Guru Nation, welcome back to another video. This one's short. We're here in Chicago. Special guest, Ashley Margot. You guys and gals may know her. She's a career expert, CRA Academy guest lecturer. Were you able to post on Slack again, by the way?
No.
Still?
Yeah, no.
We gotta fix that. I don't know. Slack did something recently where they changed something. I gotta fix that. Anyways, people are worried right now.
Yeah.
People are worried because of politics, and this is not a political channel. And but people are still worried.
Yes.
Because that's just reality. And they're talking about DEI being cut, DEI jobs at risk.
We're already seeing a trend in that a little bit.
Which, what if even is a DEI job? I don't know. But we know people personally, actually.
Yes.
Without mentioning name. Maybe you explain this story better.
Yeah.
Because I think it's indicative of more people.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I definitely won't give like specific stories, but we're seeing people that are either specifically in those roles or that kind of focus within that sphere of research, right? So DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion roles, a lot of them, at least I know in sponsor space, usually those are people that kind of come in with ClinOps or, within upper management and try to give their perspective, being, direct communication in regards to certain sites and certain patient populations, etc. And I'm pretty sure that I'm not even touching the full iceberg here because of the fact that, I personally have not been in that role. But nonetheless, we have heard from some people. We know that cuts are being made and things like that, or people are going through transition periods right now. And so, it's definitely something that is happening. But
they got the notices like overnight.
As far as overnight, I don't know specifics. Definitely didn't ask, but yeah, I mean, it's just suddenly, yeah. For sure. And
so this could be, it's happening already to people. And by the way, even before this election, layoffs were already occurring for about a year and a half in our industry. Mm-hmm. So it might accelerate in certain sectors, and in others it may start improving.
Yeah.
So I think if you've been in a government job or anything that relies on government funding, like NIH funding, NIH grants, I think that's going to be cut. We've seen that happen under Trump already. Mm-hmm. So you can assume that's going to happen again. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that doesn't create jobs in research. It just shifts the resources and it moves. And some would argue the capital is more efficiently used in private industry anyways. Mm-hmm. But for those that are currently in nice cushy jobs.
Yes.
That might be in danger.
Yes.
What's your advice? And if tomorrow they wake up with an email, you've been let go, what do you recommend they do?
Well, some of the things that we've always talked about, but some of the things I tell the CRA students is, always be 3-5 steps ahead. And I know some people don't like that, but I just think it's always smart, whether it's because you're worried about losing your job or just because you're making sure you're always keeping your own options open to amplify any opportunities that are always or could always be available to you. So if I was in that situation, one, I would immediately try to allocate funds to prep for new conferences, whether it be ACRP, SCRS, SOS, whatever, any place that can actually give you forms of direct networking. If you feel or already kind of will feel the space around you getting a little bit awkward, because I do feel like things don't just abruptly happen. I do believe that there's, if you're mindful and visual about your surroundings, you kind of already get a notion or feeling of things shifting, right? So if you feel like that, or you do potentially feel like your role is in that space, I think it's important that you start accessing your network immediately, reaching out to recruiters within your region. And that's a whole other story, but yes, specifically within your region, and depending on what role you're at or whatever, if definitely be open to all roles. So if you're somebody that's in CRO role or sponsor, and you might be in that, in this case, NIH, right? But if you want to move up or if you want to move down, I would think regardless, you should keep all options open. It's more about keeping yourself afloat, right? Or ensuring that you still keep your foot in the door as opposed to chopping off all options just because you've accustomed to one role. And once that happens, you can always readjust, right? So it's more about security, risk management, and just making sure that you stay afloat. Now, if you're somebody that is already well situated, you have a good cushion behind you, you can do something like I did. I actually gave myself a 3-month break, relaxed, rejuvenated, was mindful about what I actually wanted, kind of took a pause to understand where the space is currently at, especially right now, as Dan mentioned, we're in a shift. It's important to kind of feel where things are at. Again, only if you're in that position. But I mean, that's what I would recommend.
As the advice, a lot of people that I would add, find a small local site near you. But a lot of the sites, because I'm a site owner, they don't want to hire people that have worked cushy jobs for a reason. And so you're going to have to really go out of your way to show why you're different, or find the right site to where they are just starting to grow and need to get a little more structure. So there's two different basically type of smaller sites. It's the ones that are just small, like just starting out and still growing, or the ones that are already growing and now looking to be more structured and try to build some systems there. And you could bring some of the architecture you learned from your previous role there. But yeah, you're going to have to, it's not easy for people, and it's not going to be easy. Change is not easy, but it's the only thing that's constant in life is change.
Yeah, and adapting, always being a chameleon and being able to really make yourself, like I said, adaptable and flexible to the changes. And to add what you said, Dan, if it's a cushy job in the sense that, because I haven't worked for NIH or anything like that, but I did work in public health for a while. And the role that I was in was it was an important role, but because government and things like that can kind of be slow and all those kinds of things, the work is pretty, relaxed in that sense. That's the best way I can put it. So know that if you're jumping out of something like that and you're coming into, personal sites, private sites, and jobs that are...
Yeah, we got like 3 new studies this week.
Yeah, just understand that when you see the job description and when you are given an example of what to expect in your day-to-day, and you are very aware that that is a much more busy role, be mindful that it's also possible that you were in a role that was very relaxed. And know that the space and research, especially, again, sites that are private, privately owned, it's going to be very, very busy. So be mindful of when you're negotiating that you're not necessarily asking for something that's extremely higher above just because it compares a certain way based off of the role expectations to a job that you had that was more relaxed. So just be mindful, network, gauge, ask people what's actually, regular for these particular roles as opposed to something that you would have expected. Always be mindful, and again, always use your network, because you're able to lean on them to understand what you're jumping into and what's actually normal, what's not, what's expected, what's not expected, and maybe, again, pay range and things like that. Always just being clear on all aspects.
All right. Well, thank you, Ashley. Everybody go follow her on LinkedIn. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Good luck. Bye-bye.